All right, guys, before today's video starts, please go down and subscribe. All right, so it's been, I don't know, 2 weeks, too long, basically. So I got the car here. We're in our race trim, as you can say it. I took out the passenger seat, so, you know, race trim. So, car's all here. We're going to take it down to the Ray's Auto Salvage, throw it on the scales, and see what the car weighs now. Now, before, when the car had a lot more shit in it, I couldn't push it around that well. Now, I can. So, let's see. Maybe I knocked off a lot of weight. Maybe I didn't knock off enough. But there's not really anything else I can do to knock off weight on this car besides doing two front end, a K-member, fiberglass doors, a different hood. That's it. I can't do shit else. I'm sorry, I just can't. I mean, I have a lot of factory wiring still in the car because I like to have my windows, door locks, factory security, and a radio work. So I do have my body control module still in the car, factory fuse block, and, you know, the needed shit for a street car. So let's take this thing down to the yard and throw it on a scale and see how much this little piggy weighs. So me in the car, still heavy as shit. 3,300. Out of the car, 3,180. All right, guys. So we're here back at the shop. Obviously, we did not get the numbers we were expecting. 3,180 me out, 3,300 me in. Now, there's not really anything else I can take out of here. Be honest. There's nothing left in here I can take out besides a bunch of factory wiring. Other than that, as you can see, I even popped out the passenger seat to make up some weight there. Now, outside the car, there is a bunch of stuff I can do on the front end, but not really much to do, you know, in here. Besides removing some wiring. And there's not really much of it left. Body control module, some stuff in the dash, some stuff for the heater controls, the radio, that's it, and like the windows, and then the wiring that goes back to the taillights. So, where does that leave us? If we want to, you know, be light in a way, like, you know, where I want to be is like 28, 29. It requires a whole bunch of money and a whole lot of not street car shit, in my opinion. Like fiberglass doors, pin-on hoods, two front ends. I mean, a K-member isn't considered not, you know, street car. But there's not much left here. These cars are heavy. And I know it now because I know the car weighs 33, like 50 something from factory, all stock. Now we do have like every suspension part I can on this car besides a K-member, but that's it. Like suspension wise, everything's been done. Wheels and tires, control arms, you know, the whole 9 yards. There's everything. Up here, the only thing we can do, literally, K-member, two front end, pin on hood. I know this hood is heavy as shit because it's a 2-piece fiberglass hood. This hood probably weighs 40, 50 pounds alone because I can't even pick it up and put it on the car myself if I wanted to. If I got a pin-on hood, I know it would cut it down to like 6 or 10. That would put us right at the 3,100 range, like, you know, right on that line. You know, it could be 10, 20, could be 10 or less pounds away from 3,100 flat, getting us close to that 3,000 range. But there's not much left here we can do without spending an arm and a leg. K-members are $500+. Tube front end is $980 or so. Basically $1,000 for the tube front end. That saves 71. K-member might save you 30. Pin on hood, they're like $500-600. They can save you 40 or so more, depending on how much that one weighs. You can go crazy and do the deck lids and fiberglass trunks and just all that bullshit. There's nothing back here I can do, obviously. There's nothing. I mean, people cut these out. Then I got to raise the tank, training cooler, just to save maybe, I don't know, 5 to 8 pounds, maybe 10 at max. But there's not much left here. It's kind of sad to know that we did all this work, you know, trying to make the car light and shit. But, I mean, we did go from a nitro setup to a turbo setup and still save 80 pounds. when you know this adds a lot of weight because the turbo was like 40-50 pounds, you know, exhaust and all the shit, basically intercooler piping, all that stuff. We still save 80 pounds from what it was. So the next thing I'm probably going to look at is going to be a pin on hood, and then we'll see if I can find a K member for cheap. And the last thing I want to do is a tube front end, because you know that requires actually cutting the entire front of the car off and changing certain things. I would say not much, but having to adjust small things like where the turbo is and where it's notched for the frame for the hot side and all that stuff. I just don't want to mess with that too much. I know it saves the most amount of weight, being over 70 pounds, but it also costs the most money. For the weight, I would save, let's say we save 40 with the hood, 20 or 30 with the K member. They're about $1,000 right there. So we're right at the same price as you would save to chop off the front end of your car. Yes, you get a lot more room and, you know, shit like that with the tube front end. And it looks a lot cooler, I would say. But it's about it. You're not really doing much. Fiberglass doors, an option, but not a street car option. Honestly, I don't trust it. I would never drive around with fiberglass doors. If this car was going to go full-blown race car, then yeah, fuck it. We'll buy fiberglass doors. They are still over, I think, like $1,600 or $1,100, $1,200, whatever they cost. But those doors would save a hell of a lot of weight, because I know the doors alone are like, I think 80-something pounds each. So, you know, you do that by two, and let's say you put on the new door probably weighs 10, 15 pounds each. You can save a lot of fucking weight by getting rid of the doors, and then obviously the glass and all the mechanism and stuff like that, because, you know, still works. Obviously the speakers out, door panel, all that stuff's out, but that's literally it. We can't get it much lighter than it is. It sucks, but it is what it is. So we'll see where we go from here. I don't know. I've contemplated almost selling the car, but, you know, you never know. If I do sell this car, I will get into another one. Not this chassis, probably something lighter, like everybody else. Everyone does a Fox body for a reason, and it's because they're light as shit, and you can make them even lighter. So, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Drop down some comments below. Maybe you know something that I don't, that I can drop some weight with. I do know that the car is on factory brakes, so I can save a few pounds there, but for the price that you pay for brakes, you're not really saving much, and we all know that. Got to put some air in this tire, and that's about it. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I will check you out on the next one.